Have you ever stood in front of a mirror and felt that the person staring back at you is not good enough? That tiny whisper in your mind saying, "You can't do it," has stopped millions from becoming who they were meant to be. But today, let's talk about you. The real you, buried under layers of fear, hesitation, and lack of confidence. You see, confidence is not something you are born with. It's something you build, like a muscle. Every time you try, every time you fail, and every time you rise again, you are building that invisible armor of belief. The problem is most people stop right before they grow. They let fear win, and that fear becomes their identity. Let me tell you something powerful. Self-doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. When you look around, the most successful people in the world, from inventors to athletes, artists to entrepreneurs, weren't born confident. They faced rejection, criticism, laughter, and humiliation. But what made them different was that they didn't let those voices decide their worth. Confidence doesn't mean you never feel scared. It means you move forward even when you're terrified. Think of Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before he made the light bulb. People laughed at him. But he said, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps." That's confidence. That's belief. And that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Now let's bring it to your life. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to speak in public, chase a passion, or just believe you're worthy of something better. But every time you try, a small voice inside you says, "What if I fail?" Well, let me ask you this. What if you don't? What if you fly? What if the thing you're scared of is the very thing that will change your life forever? You see, lack of confidence is not a weakness, it's a signal. It tells you, here's where you need to grow. And the only way to grow is to face it. You can read hundreds of books or listen to 1,000 speeches, but unless you take that one step forward, nothing changes. Remember this. Confidence is not thinking you're better than others. It's knowing you have value even when you're not perfect. It's standing tall even when the world tries to push you down. It's looking in the mirror and saying, "I may not be there yet, but I'm getting closer every day." There's a small story I want to share. A young boy once loved painting, but his friends laughed at him. They told him he'd never be good enough. He stopped painting for years. Then one day, his teacher saw his old sketchbook and said, "Why did you stop?" He replied, "Because everyone said I wasn't good." The teacher smiled and said, "The day you stopped listening to them, your art would have started speaking for you." That boy, he grew up to become one of the greatest illustrators in his country. Not because he was perfect, but because he believed again. So if you've ever been laughed at, doubted, or told that you're not enough, congratulations. You're in the company of every successful person who ever lived. They all started exactly where you are right now. Unsure, scared, and full of self-doubt. But here's the difference. They decided that their story wasn't going to end that way. They decided to rewrite it, with courage as their pen and persistence as their ink. Let's be real. Life will never hand you confidence on a silver plate. It comes through effort, through falling and getting up, through rejection and still trying. Confidence is built one decision at a time. When you fail, don't say, "I can't." Say, "I'm learning." When you doubt yourself, don't hide. Say, "This fear means I'm about to grow." because growth always begins at the edge of fear. You are stronger than you think, braver than you feel, and far more capable than you believe. The only thing standing between you and your best self is the belief that you can't, and that belief is a lie. So stand tall, speak your truth, take the risk, make the move. Don't wait for confidence, create it. Every time you speak when your voice shakes, every time you try again after failure, every time you look in the mirror and say, "I can do this," you are building your confidence brick by brick. And one day, you'll look back and realize the person you thought couldn't, did. The person who doubted, achieved. The person who feared, became fearless. You see, the lack of confidence isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. It's the mirror showing you where to grow. So don't run from it. Learn from it. And with every lesson, build the foundation of the person you were meant to become. Believe me, the world doesn't need a perfect you. It needs the real you, the one who tries, the one who fails, the one who never gives up. Because in the end, confidence is not about never falling. It's about rising every single time you do. So today, take one step, just one. Make the call, start the project, speak your truth, because the more you act, the smaller your fear becomes. And one day, that whisper of doubt will fade, replaced by a louder, stronger voice that says, "I can." And when that happens, the world will no longer seem so big because you'll finally realize you were always enough.